All right, welcome to Stanley Park Hills, where I'm video of me climbing the hills on my mountain bike in Stanley Park, Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. As you can see, this first video is about my gear. It's nothing fancy, it's far less than fancy. It's a North Rock, I think it's a 26 or 29-inch frame, Shimano components. That's basically the reason why I purchased this bike. It doesn't actually meet my needs for hill climbing because I climb some pretty steep hills here in Stanley Park. The only real modifications I've done for, not even modifications, but I've gotten a longer seat post and I threw on some cheap plastic fenders. As you can see in the video here, the front one is still intact. The back one, not so much. I actually blew it off, just whipping my leg behind, and it snapped off that way. I've got to replace it because anyone who has been or lives here in Vancouver, British Columbia knows that we're going to be into the 8 months of rain. And unless I want to pack up the bike for the full year, I need the fenders on it to keep myself partially dry, at least from getting this spray from the wheels. As I said, this bike cost me, I think, about $400 and change. North Rock, as I said, basically the reason why I bought it is basically for the components. I've been riding bikes for all my life, and I've never had any problems with the Shimano components, and that's basically why I purchased this bike. The gear ratio was actually not set up correctly for me to climb the hills. I'm a seat rider. I don't stand up. And once we get into the hills, you can see why. Some of the hills that I climb up on the mountain bike here are rather steep, and it would be pretty much impossible for me to stand up and ride because there'd be no traction on the rear wheel. But as I said, this is just the first little video showing me the gear, and it gets even worse than this. But I'll show you my $50 or $60 action camera that I actually purchased at Costco also, that I make the videos with, but it does a pretty decent job. So this is just, as I said, this is just the introductory video for my gear, the North Rock, I don't know, the XC29, 26, 27. I'm not 100% sure. I couldn't find all of the information that was available when I purchased it, but just a little bit of a brief review of the equipment that I use when I'm riding the hills here in Vancouver, British Columbia in Stanley Park. So sit back and enjoy the ride. Thanks for watching.